Okay. It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know, now, however, is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they're just going to have a limousine or just going to have jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleans in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, where they have a 3-hour happy hour here every day from 3 to 6 p.m. They have a fantastic brunch on the weekends, which is, I believe, Saturday and Sunday. Chris, is that correct in your opinion?
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
Technically, a weekend is Saturday and Sunday, I believe, yes.
Yes.
And if you'd like to stick around for the next 60 minutes, we have happy hour here as well, in which I'm joined today by Chris Succi. Chris, pleased to meet you.
That's the name they gave me. Pleased to meet you, Grant.
Pleased to meet you especially. And what do they call you as a nickname?
Such.
Such. So we should call you that?
That or Antonio Banderas is a great name.
Okay, Antonio Banderas is a great name. Does anyone call you that besides yourself?
Myself, that's it.
I can write that, write that on the table.
I can pay some people to do it and all that, but
Antonio Banderas might sue you.
Yeah.
I'm taller than him, though, which is nice.
How do you know that?
He's only 5'6". I'm 5'9".
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Good point. I don't know that. I guess because it's on the internet, and anything on the internet is real. It's true.
You've looked up how tall is Antonio Banderas. C-Rock is going to tell us whether that's true or not. The fabulous, legendary Marc Stone is here as well. Marc, how are you doing?
Well.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. You look pretty good.
Thank you.
Come over here. Come to this little...
This thing, it
are you
makes
scared
the
of
voice
it?
now, yeah?
You scared of it?
I'm not used to this
You're not
microphone.
used to a microphone. What kind of a microphone do you have?
Well, I'm not endorsed, so, I'm not really
You're not going to say what it is. Okay. Would you like a
So not as legendary as Antonio Banderas. You're
Close.
not as legendary.
Where have you been?
What?
Mark is legendary. We were introduced as legendary, so I'm just seeing where I'm at as far as the table is.
You don't think he's a legendary musician?
No, I'm learning, right? It's happy hour.
I didn't know I was either.
I think you are. Do you think so, Chris?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Without evidence.
Without a doubt.
So
Without evidence. Oh, you want some evidence?
I think
Okay.
the conversation will ensue and evidence.
I think
what-
empirical evidence and drinking really
Yeah,
don't
right.
go hand in hand.
Also, have you ever heard Mark play guitar or sing, Julia?
No,
So this is
just now
Julia.
it was good.
This is Julia Elizabeth Evans, who's here as well.
Yes, sir.
What's your nickname?
Too many. Just Jules. or
Jules.
Not Melanie Griffith.
I wrote that.
Yeah, Jules,
There used to be
babe.
a wonderful bar called Jules. Were you
Yeah.
familiar with that?
No.
You were, weren't you?
No, where's
Oh,
that?
never mind. All right.
I'm not familiar with much as far as bars, so.
You're not a big drinker?
Not a big drinker, so I'm gonna be. I have one drink. We'll see where that takes me.
What are you drinking? What is
I'm
this?
drinking the Wayfare's cucumber
Cucumber cooler. It's very good.
Yes,
What are you guys
yes.
drinking? What are you drinking?
Vodka cranberry.
Vodka cranberry. How many is that you've had so far?
This is only 2.
This is your second or third? Since
Only
we've
my
been-
second.
Second,
That's
not
it.
bad.
That is
And
it.
Mark, what are you drinking? here?
Still waiting on the endorsement paperwork. We'll have to see. What happens
Okay, all
before
right.
the end
Well,
of
no,
the show.
they do endorse us here at Wayfare, so we're allowed to mention the drinks.
Oh, okay. Then
cucumber
I'm drinking.
cooler, yeah.
I'm drinking a vodka tonic. That's excellent.
Straight ahead vodka tonic. Okay, so
Yes.
you
Well,
let
right.
They know
you
how
let
to
a
pour
free
vodka.
drink. You let a totally free drink, and that's what you went for, vodka tonic.
That's what I felt like today.
Okay.
It's getting a little warm.
wait
it's
a
that
minute.
first
It
taste
is,
of the
too.
impending
Johnny Walker
summer.
Blue would have been the free drink?
Yes, is there such a thing as
Wait
Johnny
a minute.
Walker
I'll
Blue?
pay for this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Go
right.
back on that. Okay, so Marc Stone, as you probably know, is, in my opinion, a legendary guitar player and musician and singer in New Orleans. I've known about you since I've been here for a long, long time, since like the late 80s, early 90s. Are you from here originally, or did you move here?
No, I moved here from New York.
From
Yeah.
New York. Well, you couldn't live in New York with that kind of talent.
Well, I'm.
I know there's a lot of
you would say
talented.
that.
There's a lot of talented people in New York, but not that do what you do.
For the kind of music I really love, there was no place in the
Right.
world like this. I got here, and the people who were around and active, were people who invented rock and roll and R&B and funk. It was a great thing to fall into.
What made you come here? What was the precipitating?
My best friend, who I had known since I was about 10, gone to grade school and high school with, had moved here after college, and she called me up. She said, "I'm living in New Orleans with my boyfriend. this is the place for you. You got to come here. So.
Had you ever been here before?
No, I hadn't.
Wow.
I came here on my last spring break of college with a couple of other musicians. My friend and D mentor, Johnny Allen from up in New York City, and another cat named John who was a piano player. And came down here for a week, completely fell in love, and my friend said, hey, don't go home. I said, I'll be right back. And came back at the end of that summer and never left.
Did you graduate from college?
I did.
What were you studying?
It's not even worth discussing.
Just a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
You know, did you go to school, Julia?
I did go to school.
What did you waste your time studying?
I studied philosophy.
Okay, so
see there, that's productive.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about empirical evidence and the lack thereof. That's this kind of stuff that I study.
What exactly is philosophy?
That's exactly what I tried to answer. I grew up in Arkansas and I went to school in Boston. And
that must have been interesting right there in itself.
Yeah, and I realized I don't know what philosophy is when I got to school, and I found out it's just figuring out how to ask questions, and for that matter, how to listen to what somebody's saying.
That's it?
Yeah, that's
so
pretty
we're
much
philosophers.
It. Yes. Yeah, and that's we can talk about philosophy in terms of how we talk about things, and that's actually what I ended up studying, thinking about the way we think and thinking about the way that we talk.
Thinking about the way we think, that seems pretty circular.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's kind of bigger picture thing, or like you kind of just feel out where you're asking the questions, and that's kind of what philosophy is. And then but what the really the big thing is, I guess the big uncertainty is why my philosophy professor decided that I needed to make films.
Is that he or she?
Yeah, that was a he. So I was taking a really, really what you call like logic-based analytical philosophy class, and in which I was trying my hardest to write a really good logic-based philosophy paper, which I'm not the best at. And then I go to the office hours, and my professor's like, Julia, I think you need to make movies. And I was kind of offended. I was like, what? You're not taking my logic seriously, of course. Like, that's more art.
What school are you at?
I went to Tufts University, which is...
Tufts? So that's like a seriously like...
Yeah, it was a hard school.
Well,
it was a really hard school.
So you're super smart.
Yeah, well, I work kind of hard, and that's really, I think, that's also true of anything. It's like if you work hard, then you can do well at it. I didn't do great at philosophy, but I worked hard at it. Same with...
You worked hard at it, and then the professor said you weren't good enough to be a philosopher.
Well, then he was like, let me take you
and
under my wing, and I can show you about film and philosophy. And so that kind of precipitated into me.
Why was there a philosophy professor at Tufts who knew anything about making
That's
films?
a great question. He kind of snuck in there. So he's like, he didn't tell, I don't think he told the administration that he wanted to teach philosophy of film classes, because our administration had nothing to do with any kind of
the philosophy of
literature or film classes. We were very hardcore, like logic and science and all that kind of other stuff. So it was a really big, jarring office.
Okay, so what's this guy's name?
Visit Professor Stephen White. He's an old guy.
Hang on, C-Rock will find him. What's his name again?
Yeah,
Professor
he's pretty
what?
esoteric. I think esoteric as far as it's pretty cool to talk about though. But no, I mean, he's just like a really, really curious dude.
I'd like to know what happened to this guy.
With like books and books and books in his office. He's still up in Boston in his like little office reading books about philosophy and film and trying to bring those two together in a really...
And when he told you that you should go making films instead of being a philosophy major,
well,
you were insulted by the sound of it.
I was insulted, exactly. I was insulted
Why did you
because...
take it seriously? Why did
because at that point I had no desire to become a philosopher. So the kind of philosophy I studied, it's not like you're talking about Sartre and everything. You're talking about, you're reading papers that are philosophers that are basically my age, and we're critiquing them. So the only path that I had was going to philosophy PhD. And I was like, I'm not smart enough for that. I'm actually have no desire to be, in this ivory tower.
How do you make money off
Exactly. And I was like, and moreover, I realized, oh shoot,
well, you teach
I should have
other people.
gone. Yeah, you teach other people,
You advise
but at
other
that
people
point,
to be a
So
movie.
being an artist was the
Right.
better financial
Right.
path.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a sad situation.
Yeah, my
makes
parents
sense.
were like, yeah, you're studying philosophy? And then when I was like, hey, I want to be a filmmaker, they were like, yeah! So that's
How much are you paying to go to Tufts?
I'm not paying.
How much was it?
it was, what is it, $40,000 a year?
Is
And
it?
out of my parents' pocket.
And they paid for it.
Yep.
So they're $120,000 or
Honestly, my parents are
$160,000
super-
into a philosophy degree.
Yeah.
You better write
super
some
progressive
points.
folks. Yeah. What's that?
Do they get points?
No, you get double major. I double majored, so.
No,
you
I
know.
mean your parents on your work. Do they get points?
They get like a lot of hugs.
Oh,
They get a lot of hugs.
hugs are awesome.
So you're
Hugs.
trying to pay back $160,000 in
I'm-
school.
I'm not.
You
thank
don't even
God.
care about
No,
paying it back.
No,
Okay, what
I'm
did your
not.
parents do that they have all that money?
Both
in
my parents are
Little Rock?
scientists.
In Little Rock?
They scientists, and they.
Arkansas.
Yeah, they were like working at the medical school, and then when they were like realized that, basically I grew up knowing that I'm not going to stay in the South, and then I realized up in the North, I'm going back to the South. My parents were like, "Why are you going back to the South?" And I was like, "I got to tell stories, you know. I got to tell stories about the place where I'm from."
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have 4. They put them all through. I don't know. My parents are
They
incredible
have. There's
people.
5 of you.
Yeah, there's 5 of us.
What are the other 4 doing?
They're all social workers.
Wow. They're all social workers.
That's great.
So there's a sort of a super liberal family in Little Rock.
Hang loose.
Well, have you guys been to Little Rock? Have you been, Chris? Have you been to Little
I've
Rock?
driven through it. I've driven through
Mark,
it.
do you play in Little Rock?
Yes, I
Yes.
performed in Little Rock,
Where
Arkansas.
did-
Bill Clinton
Where
town.
did, yeah, right.
What's
Where did
your
you
opinion of
perform?
Little Rock?
Little Rock per se, I only remember one big festival show. I was on the road with a band. It was a big outdoor event. I think the Radiators were there as well, and a
nice.
ton of other bands. I think Styx, and crap like that.
Styx.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Styx play?
I've actually I've been fortunate to meet a lot of people from Arkansas, and
The
a lot
best
of whom
people.
were really brilliant and all absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, I don't know about
The brilliant ones were.
just there's a kind of humility. I think being anywhere from the South, but especially somewhere like Arkansas that's a town. And I
Arkansas
realized
is a
that.
town?
Yeah.
Arkansas
I
is
mean,
a town,
excuse
yeah, I
me.
was gonna say.
Well, excuse me, Little Rock. I'm on the radio, so I'm a little nervous.
I
But
didn't-
Little Rock's
oh,
a town, you know, and like I moved to Boston, and that's a city, but it's also sort of a town. I moved to New Orleans, and that's a city, and then you quickly realize it's also a town.
What do you mean
But
by the difference between a city and a
There's
town?
no
One's
there's
small.
no city aspect to Little Rock, but it's just a matter of like the culture
Isn't
is
it the capital?
right. It's the
Isn't it-
capital.
isn't
It's
it
the
the
capital. And then
capital?
when you
It's
get
a
out
city,
of the,
I
yeah,
would
and then when you
say.
get out of the capital, everybody's like, "How's the city?" And you're like, "No, it's not the city." It's just being from being from Arkansas, and like at the end of the day, your biggest town is Little Rock, and that's
Well, where are your 4 brothers and sisters being social workers? Are they all in Little Rock?
no. Some of them are like in. Some of them are still in Little Rock and Conway, outside of Arkansas, or excuse me, outside of Little Rock.
They're all in the.
They're all there.
around.
So 2 of them are there, and then some of them are in New York, actually. So I'm the only one that's in New Orleans, which is cool. But
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
This town could use some social.
yeah. But I want to hear more about everybody
These
else.
other people.
I'm
So-
trying to talk
well,
about myself.
I want to talk about your movie as well.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
let's talk about Chris for a minute because
Yeah,
I'm worried
yeah.
about you, Chris.
Why are you worried about me?
Because I got this bio that I just got today. It says Chris Succi is an IT contractor.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm
Says-
kind of getting bored of it, too.
This is what it says here. It says, I'm an IT contractor for a great company with great pay, which is good news for everybody who
That
would
is
like
good news.
on this table. Because you're the only one who's-
I actually had a Skype interview for even greater pay. So hopefully,
What-
today,
As what?
as another
As an
IT person.
contractor.
too. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I actually, I've been doing desktop. Well, it's a little vague, I guess, as an IT contractor, but just going around actually being an IT person for basically 6 to 8 months or at a time is
Okay.
my job and
Mark,
all that.
do you
But
know
it's
what that
desktop
means?
support, pretty much.
Desktop support. Now we're getting to.
Hardware, software. What I'm doing right now
What does
is
that mean?
working for a company. It's a technology-based company, but
Are we allowed to know the name of it, or better not to tell us?
I don't mind. It's called Lucid. Lucid Technology.
Lucid.
Oh,
Lucid
I've
is
seen,
what-
I've
Lucid
seen a
LLC.
sign for that at the airport.
Yes,
Lucid.
they're at the airport.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
yes.
It was
sign.
originally called Federated Sample.
Yes. See, all right.
Okay.
You know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
we
now.
know about this. It'd be gigantic success story.
It is a
This-
good. Yes, it's a very successful.
So why are
company. It's
you?
doing well.
Why does it say here? The next part of the sentence is an IT contractor for a great contract, but
Okay.
I'm not happy.
Aw.
Well, it's not with the company. No, the company's great. I'm just not happy with being an IT contractor job. Here we go.
Artists,
Here we
artists,
You guys,
go. Artists? What?
you know.
these,
We're happy.
these guys are sorry.
broke, right?
Sorry to hear you're making a whole lot of money and you're still not happy. Is that what you're
Exactly.
suggesting?
I'm jealous of all y'all. Like my goal.
Everybody wants to do something else.
For a job, my goal would be just once to say, I can't believe they pay me to do this. And you obviously have that job, don't you?
I
come
can't
on,
believe
come to the
what
mic.
they pay me to.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. It's like teachers
That's some
underpaid.
philosophy. That's some philosophy.
No, teachers is still the great crime of humanity.
totally.
For real.
Totally.
If there's any Lenny Bruce fans out there, or if you're not familiar with the great Lenny Bruce, you might want to go check out a wonderful routine he did called The Tribunal in 1959, which was on an album called Togetherness, subtitled I'm Not a Nut, Elect Me, on which the cover of which in 1959, Mr. Bruce, a Jew, posed with a black woman and an Asian woman in front of a picture of the Lincoln Memorial, or some memorial to Lincoln, with 5 black men in KKK suits behind him. So he was telling a lot of truth for the time, and he had a routine called The Tribunal about teachers' salaries versus entertainers' salaries, and I strongly recommend you look it up. It's still quite relevant.
Yeah.
And that was before they had to
take like 1% of the amount of money we spend on big Hollywood productions, because this is what I ultimately want to do, is be in big Hollywood productions. That's why my parents are clapping when I tell them I want to be a filmmaker. And I've just had this thought exactly. If we could spend it 1%, that's multi-millions of dollars, rather than going towards the stand that they're going to purchase for this big battle scene. If that could just go to teacher salaries, it's insane.
You could figure out a way for them to make money by giving teachers high salaries. The government would do it.
Well, it might, yeah.
Can't-
Is it a question?
raise the income potential of the
Right.
tax base?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's sad.
Right.
It's sad.
Right.
Teachers.
Should it be privatized? But maybe it's just about values. We obviously value entertainment, right? That's some philosophy, right?
Well, nobody's.
But that's a whole nother conversation, as the media that holds entertainment has become more and more abstract and lost its saleability.
Yeah, and that's a concrete conversation, definitely. Definitely.
What's harder and harder to actually make any money in the entertainment industry? You mean?
That's what I've been reading.
Right.
Really?
Are you finding that in your?
Well, no, I mean just because, at least in music, just like you have in any other hard copy, intellectual property-based medium, sales are down because everything. I mean, even if you get a record deal these days, the first thing that happens is your distributor puts all your stuff on YouTube.
Right.
Or at
It's
least
all
that's
free.
been my experience, in hopes of driving sales. So, financial participation in being a consumer of entertainment product these days is somewhat optional.
Right.
So we're back to, a little more of a patronage system, especially for music. I mean, just even as an independent, people don't buy CDs the way they used to. Nobody makes a laptop with a CD port anymore.
Right.
And fewer people carry cash. So even on that level, it changes the dynamic. So.
But you're mostly playing live, aren't you? Isn't most of your income derived from a
I
live
make
player?
records and I sell the records, and I
gigs.
generally hope to recoup my investment and maybe make a little more to put towards the next project. But live performance is what drives it.
Let's make you play something live for us right now.
Oh wow, that's
Come
a
on.
really
good segue.
Yes.
What,
wow, that makes me feel great about. Oh wait, I'm not getting paid. All right,
No,
that
it's
takes the
free.
pressure off.
Well, it's a free drink.
Go get the Johnny Walker Blue.
Is there
Go
such
get
a
the
thing as a
Johnny
free
Walker
drink?
Blue.
What do you?
There's no such thing as a free drink. All right. Since you said that we didn't have to be FCC compliant,
Yes.
however, being in tune is not really an FCC issue. Hold on a second. I'm gonna play a song that I composed recently. Oh, the cast of characters can keep shifting, but it goes. The sucker's ready to blow. I don't know where to go. The sucker's ready to blow. I don't know where to go. Now we're in the streets and we're in their sights while we're fighting, Lord, for our rights. Well, it ain't no joke, Lord, the race is on. The world you thought you knew, motherfucker, that's gone. The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. Well, I know my history, and I know my math. This adds up to a lot of bloodbath. People in control ain't got no soul. But now they're telling us we gotta do as we're told. Hell no, the sucker's ready to blow. I don't know where to go. The sucker's ready to blow. I don't know where to go. Now, Mr. President, he's got his band. And there goes Bannon, that was the blood man. If ever the devil, Lord, he walked the earth, must have worked for Bannon, spreading all that dirt. The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. Do you? The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. Karl Rove was an angel, Dick Cheney a mouse. Compared to this, oh, this guilty louse. Straight out of New York, shame on my name. Trying to put the world in a flame. Well, this fucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. About a quarter of the people, they got 'em fooled. The rest of us, well, we're overruled. I'm gonna use my senses, I'm gonna use my voice. I'm gonna stay right here and fight, 'cause I ain't got no choice. The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to go. The sucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to. The sucker's ready to blow. Why, I don't know. This fucker's ready to blow, I don't know where to.
Yeah.
And I mean it.
There he is, the legendary Marc Stone. So I think you've adequately or eloquently summarized exactly how a lot of people are feeling. Don't you guys think?
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to ask, why aren't you happy?
Why aren't I happy? I'm just not happy with my job. I just
Yeah.
want to change careers.
Why?
Why?
That's just a bigger question.
I know. I mean, you already
Trust the philosopher, man.
Yeah.
She knows what she's going for.
I don't know. It'd be nice to create something. I've never created anything before, so it'd be nice to do something. So,
Would you like to write a song with legendary Marc Stone right now?
No, I don't want to write a song with. He doesn't need my help.
Does the term
Yeah,
executive
yeah.
producer have any resonance for you?
Right.
Oh, that's all about money, though, isn't it? No. If anything, I would love to write a documentary.
Well, you're talking to a documentary filmmaker,
I don't think
right?
there's one on Tipitinas, so I would love to write a documentary on Tipitinas. But
When you say right, what do you mean?
or actually just do a documentary on
Produce, yeah.
Tipitinas. I mean, just create one. It'd be
Right.
great. Whether you do it, we film it, edit it.
Yeah,
The
let's
whole
keep
thing.
going.
It'd
I
be
just
amazing.
Finished my first cut of
There you go.
this corner stores documentary, so I'm about to move on.
So
That's
see, it's
gonna
not
be-
about money, but just creating something would be really great.
Well, it's also about money too. You know, you gotta pay people so that you can make something really great, right? So that on that note, right now I'm thinking about a new documentary,
Okay.
but we'll put a pause on it after I present it because I want to make a documentary about satsumas. There's this the satsuma tree. It's been now completely wiped. It's been completely wiped out in southeast Louisiana for reasons that have to do with the environment, of course, but also this mold that's been infiltrating from Texas, either Texas or Florida. And I'm just like, your music would be great for that documentary that I eventually will produce. So we'll
great.
talk about payment and everything at some later point. But Tipitina's, that's...
Yeah, like I don't know if we need to speak with the organization and ask them first if it's okay to have, like, to create one. But I looked online and there's not one, and it's an icon.
Yeah,
it's
you're
one
right.
Of the, it's one of the
Yeah.
greatest places to see music. That and, and the Maple
Absolutely.
Leaf would be a good one to do.
I actually did a couple of archival interviews with thank you.
Come to the
yeah, wow, I mean, yeah.
Come to the group.
Usually I better So I did some archival interviews with Tyrone, the sound man, who worked at Tipitina's starting in the 80s, and Reggie Scanlon of the Radiators, who, of course, was in Professor Longhair's band when Tipitina's first opened, and has amazing stuff like tapes of Big Chief Jolly playing, the Monday night piano set at Tips. And I was looking into the concept of a Tipitina's documentary.
See? No, I'm telling you.
See,
it
the
needs
guy
to be
you
out there.
got to talk to is Sonny Schneider.
Okay.
That's the
I'm
man.
already starting to write the grant to get this cash flow going so that we can produce this thing.
I'm just going to leave
Sonny
it there.
was the guy who booked all the gigs at Tipitina.
Oh, yeah?
I think
from
he
the
started out rolling cable there when he was a teenager.
Really?
Or something
Wow.
like that. Yeah.
Well, he's the guy. He's the key. But has anyone got any footage, any video?
If anyone would know.
Sonny
Yeah.
would have.
I hope I didn't
would
just get
start.
myself in a lot of trouble. Well, I mean, OZ didn't exist until about 4 years into Tipitina's,
They were in the
right?
room above Tipitina's.
Yeah,
They would drill a hole in their floor and drop a mic during shows, live shows,
you
and
know
they would
a lot
actually.
you know a lot of the story. You've done some research. on it.
Yeah. Why is there a banana?
Yeah.
Up there? It used to be a juice bar originally, and that's why the banana stayed and everything. So yeah, I've done a little research on
let's
it,
do
and
this.
I think we should do a documentary. I want to do it where not only do we interview musicians, but I want to interview people that work there
Yeah.
too. Like, what was it like backstage? What was
Right.
the crazy times? What were the drug things?
Just interview people that
Yeah.
work at Tipitina. It's like
Yeah.
like musicians. We hear the musicians by way of the music, and that speaks for itself. But we hear from just. I mean, I'm thinking about documentary. How can we make this creative and interesting, not just a run-of-the-mill documentary about Tipitina's? No, let's just hear about the people behind Tipitina's. Of course, the musicians, but we hear that through the music, right?
And yeah, it's not like Tips needs to be out there because people don't know about it. No, obviously, it's one of the reasons why people come to New Orleans. One of the main reasons. But
It's amazing how many people outside of New Orleans know Tipitina's.
Well, that's a good question that you probably have to ask yourself: is why do you want to make this documentary?
Yep.
I don't
Is that
know.
the first question?
Yeah. that
Okay,
is
so what's
first
the
question,
answer to
yeah.
that?
It was one night. I can't remember what show or whatever. I was
Yeah.
just looking around, going,
That's gonna be
"Look
my
at all the
question.
history and everything." I'm just like, "We need a documentary on Tips. This is
Hell,
like
yeah.
incredible."
But you have to know why do you want to make that?
God.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a
Why-
very
Do we have a
long,
couch
difficult-
there,
Inspiration.
Sigmund?
Come
Well,
on,
I
it's
think
like,
I think
let 'em
you're
feel it.
you're right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I think you're right to continue to ask the question. That's like you sound like my producer, who's also my business partner. No, when I started working on this corner stores documentary for 3 years, and I
So you're
started.
saying the words corner stores.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Corner stores in
document-
New Orleans.
And what's it called, this documentary?
That's the big question too.
Oh.
That hasn't gotten figured out. The working title is Corner Stores. Thomas, our sound guy on this radio podcast or on this podcast,
Yes.
he's the audio engineer on the Corner Stores documentary. That's just
Right.
what it's been called thus far. But I started with this question of like, why are there so many corner stores in New Orleans? I'm a filmmaker. Like, let me just start like asking questions, and then eventually I realized after doing a year of research, what research just means production, like filming and interviewing. Oh, the reason why I want to make this documentary, the reason why people will support me and to make this documentary is because corner stores in New Orleans are disappearing. Corner stores are the the linchpins of communities in the New Orleans, many different neighborhoods. So that's what you figure. You have a certain feeling like you have about Tipitina's. You can't
Maybe I'm a
articulate it.
storyteller and I just want to tell a story
You
about
can't
it.
give
I don't
like
know.
a concrete reason why, but you have a feeling, and then you go into without any cash flow. We were talking about cash flow earlier, but without anything, without
cash
any
is easy, we
pretense,
can
without
get it.
any pretense, but just excitement and feeling, you go and start to produce it. And then if you realize that this is something worth telling, then you go
Okay, so
ahead.
what's the first step that Chris
Answer.
has to do then, in your opinion?
Get a camera.
Ah, really?
Like
Just
honestly,
start.
people ask me all the time, well, I kind of want to start like a YouTube channel, or I want to do this about this, and I'm like, just get your phone. Everybody right now we have a phone that's taking us or videoing us as we're talking, and that's sufficient. We're watching it.
Do I need to get?
And that's production, right?
True.
And that's like your way of getting
So
this
that's to say you
answer.
just start shooting. You don't have a plan. You don't have
Right.
a team.
But I can't just walk into Tipitina's
Yeah,
one
but
night
you
and just
can,
start
right?
filming.
But you can.
I guess I can, but I
well,
mean,
I wouldn't do it. You'd have to think tactfully. Of course, everything is about tact.
I would probably have to
even in the
contact
IT.
the organization
Yeah,
first
you
and
go
say
in,
it's
you walk
okay.
in, like,
Well,
hey,
how
can I
would that
ask you a few questions? And can I ask you this few questions with this like iPhone rolling? And that's just what I did.
But will you end up with footage good enough to use in a real?
That's a good question. And you may not,
movie?
but it allows you to get to a point where you're like, oh, this is why I want to produce this documentary. This is why you will want to help me make this documentary. Because there's too many documentaries, right? Like, I don't know.
But Chris is sitting on a whole bunch of money, right?
Right, sure,
I am.
sure.
Apparently, you're making a lot of money,
my
and you're
job.
being
Right,
offered
right.
even more money. So
Yeah, after this, Lucy's gonna hear this and like, let me go.
no, they would never do that.
I just
Wait
think
till Friday to do it.
What?
No.
But you're making. You already say they're paying you a lot of money, and you're.
They're paying me a
What
good
do you
amount of money. I
actually-
mean, what's a lot?
What do
no,
you actually do?
No, desktop support, IT support.
What does that mean? What do you do?
Take care of the hardware, software, computers. People need computers and stuff to work, monitors, everything. They
So
also
this company,
Yeah.
Lucid, it does like research,
Lucid,
right?
yeah.
It does polling and research for other companies.
Well, if you want surveys done and you want info quickly done, their software will do it for you. And they basically pretty much
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they pretty much, if you're a survey person, you say, I want info on this and this about this, and I need a listing of who accepted that, their software will do it really quick. They're not gonna go through it and dissect it and say, well, this amount of people did it. No, this is what you guys want. You guys take care of it. We'll do it very quick.
So
they're actually the leaders in it. I gotta give them
Right.
credit where credit is
So
due.
they design and implement actual statistical research that's
that's
reliable.
dope.
A list of data that people,
Right.
yeah,
So
that
you can end up
companies
with
can look.
so you can end up with a list of data that's reliable,
So I
whether
could be
you're
like-
NBC News or
So I can be like, Dad, I want to be a filmmaker. And he's like, hey, like, what's going to be your salary in 5 years? I'll be like, well, I got Lucid to do this, like, statistical analysis of how
Yeah.
long it takes for a documentary
Oh,
filmmaker
sure, they
to
could
make
be
a
part
certain
of it.
salary. Look, Dad, I have the data. And he'll be like, good, that's some empirical evidence. We can move forward.
so that's what
That's
you
great.
need. And what'll Dad do when
And
he
Dad will
gets
be
that
like,
info? He'll give you some money.
Let's have he'll be like, you're welcome to the house. No. My father's an amazing person. He's incredible.
Dad's like documentaries. You can't make money off
No,
documentaries.
my father's like, Julia, let's
Write
get it
Avatar
done.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
C-Rock has some info.
Right.
I have a question for Julia.
Yeah.
Why no Hank's Supermarket?
Yo, good question. So, just to clarify, I'm working on a short film that Thomas, again, I'm talking about Thomas, he's right here. He's our audio guy for this podcast. It's for the Tricentennial, and it's a short film about one corner store in New Orleans in Uptown, and hear about that more later on. But that's following a 30-minute documentary that I produced last year. And it has like 23 or maybe a little few more corner stores, that just the faces of the corner stores, and featuring 4 stores like Frady's in the Bywater, Jean's, Po' Boys at Legion Field, St. Claude, Red Rooster, which is in Central City. Hank's, I was like, yo, you know what? That's a little too poppy. Like, it's a little too like hipster, fresh. I'm gonna do stuff that, basically, it was a matter of like I didn't happen to get that footage. And at one point, my friends were like,
rationalized it out.
yeah, exactly, after the fact. No, because one of my good friends asked me, why isn't Hank in your 30-minute documentary? And I was like, just because it's too, like, poppy. But no, it's because I happened to not have, like, my camera the day that I went to Hank's when I was getting catfish. They have really good catfish there.
I really like what they're doing on Instagram. It's like,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't checked that out.
Where
No.
is Hanks?
That's dope.
Hank's
It's on-
is right on St. Claude in the Bywater.
It's like where all the gutter punk hipsters go.
But they post
that are, like, my
photos. They post photos of the people checking out at Hank's.
That's
and
dope.
like all their friends will like comment. They don't tag them, so all the friends will like comment like, "Oh, this is my buddy," and
Oh,
like
that's so
everyone
cute. I gotta
gets
check that
super
out.
excited about Hank's Instagram.
That's a
Yo,
pretty.
I like that.
That's a pretty good
Yeah,
idea.
they see, like I said, they have a crowd that's like kind of like maybe you would call it an expat. I don't know, like a transplant. I'm a transplant from Little Rock, so
But
somewhat.
you don't want to be identified
Well,
as one
yeah.
of these hipster transplants.
Right,
You want to
It's
be.
a little too poppy. It's like
Right.
Hanks. Like, of course you're gonna choose Hanks to go in your documentary, but no, it's just like I didn't ever get
guess
that
that
footage.
It's a better call.
What's up?
Frades is the better call
Yeah,
in the neighborhood.
Frades.
I mean, come on.
Frades is the
Well,
best.
is Singleton's your focus for the 30-minute one?
Yeah. For the 30-minute one is the longer piece. This new one is 10 minutes. It's like what you would call like a festival.
Why are you making a
Short.
10-minute version of a 30-minute film, which is already
Good
seems pretty
question,
short?
because I got a means of making money. No, there's a grant that came out through the city last year, and it was for short films they had a stipulate or a parameter from 10 to 15 minutes. So I was like, you know what, I can do this with better production. Because before I just had my camera and I was just like making it on a dime. Now I can hire people like Thomas or, I can hire a score producer. That's really what. So that's good.
Okay. So can we see this thing anywhere?
Excellent question too. So
really?
I guess this.
Batting
Yeah,
100
guys,
here with
New
these good
Orleans, we're
questions.
gonna be. I might be getting in trouble, but April 27th, I think we're gonna be doing the screening somewhere in City Park. My executive producer at New Orleans Video Access Center, Novak, just told me this morning about the screening. So check out
April 27th,
Yeah, write that down. April 27th.
2018.
First day of Jazz Fest.
Yeah, I think it
Are you
coincides.
playing this year?
That's cool.
I have a bunch of night shows.
Yeah.
But you're not playing at the festival?
I gotta check.
Do you ever-
Where are you
do you
playing?
ever play at the
Where do you
festival?
play?
Yeah, I've played at the festival. in the
Why
past.
haven't they booked you this year, Owen?
I'll decline to postulate.
Is there a reason, you think?
Entirely possible.
Why wouldn't they just book every local good New Orleans musician?
Time and money.
But you're not that expensive, sure.
Well, as
he is.
evident,
Maybe
if
he
you
is.
want empirical evidence, I'm here, right?
Exactly.
Where do you play though? Where can I see you?
Over the course of the Jazz Fest, I will be playing at the Little Gem Saloon. Actually, on Friday the 27th, we're going to do a Great Ladies of Soul show with the new Soul Finders featuring Marilyn Barber and special guests including Darcy Malone of Darcy Malone and the
nice.
Tangle and the great Anais St. John and the amazing Cole Williams and all kinds of folks. And we have other shows that will be announced soon. And on the Wednesday between Jazz Fest weekends, I will be performing solo at a little spot called Tipitina's, opening for the Radiators, and it's
Wow,
sold
okay,
out.
that's a huge gig. Yeah,
so
that's
I'm
already
saying-
sold out.
That's so cool.
yeah,
Can we get on
Yeah.
the guest list?
You know, I would say call the club, tell them who you are,
40th
explain to them
anniversary.
that you're wealthy and you want to do a documentary. Exactly. pull
I'm
a
the
few
guy who's
strings.
making the
I
Tipitina's
know
documentary.
Right.
I'm the guy. That's how you get into everything
Hey,
now.
I've got a lot of good po' boys
I'm so
out of
going to
this.
get shot for being
You
at
did
this
because
table.
you're doing the corner store thing.
Yeah,
you
like
imagine
so
doing
many
that?
po' boys.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
No,
Well, you
I
know,
don't
and
get
tips
No,
used to
that's
cigarettes.
actually
shame.
be
But I have
something.
gotten
to-
some good six-packs that these corner store owners will give me. Yeah, they're so kind. I mean, right? It's just like New Orleans and hospitality. It's like once you visit a place twice and you talk to them, then everything changes, or like everything comes out. Here, have this. Here, have that. Eat this. Eat this. Eat this. Eat this. Eat this.
Okay. So where's the best pole boy in town?
Good question. I don't know if I can answer that.
Parkway.
Dude,
Parkway.
man,
not
honestly,
a-
I think Parkway.
I gotta like give it up to jeans. I've been to like
Jeans
50.
daiquiris are good too.
Yeah, I know, right? I
They're
haven't had too many of their daiquiris, but I've been to a lot of corner stores, right? I've been doing this for 3 years, and
Well, do you like Satsumas that much?
yeah, I like. I'm
Are
actually.
you really going to do like another year or two on Satsumas?
Dude, that's what I'm
Have you
eat.
ever
That's
had
what
a
I
fresh
eat. I
Satsuma?
pound those
Come
satsumas,
on,
man. I cannot pound those po' boys like I can pound those satsumas.
Okay, so
No,
you
that
would
they
be,
make great mimosas.
Yeah.
True,
Dude,
so-
I just.
so you'd be happy to spend a couple of years
Yeah,
working on
I'd be much
Satsumas.
happier eating a bunch of satsumas than I would be. Like, sorry,
po'
New
boys.
Orleans, but my tum is not like the happiest after a po' boy. So I haven't. That's why I say I'm not like a po' boy expert, because for the most part, when people tell me to eat, I have to be like really careful about what I eat. So I'm a vegan, right? And
You're
I'm
a
making this
vegan.
corner store
Wow,
documentary.
okay.
But I'm like a cheating vegan, That's what we say in Arkansas, cheating vegan.
Cheating vegan.
Yeah.
Are you single,
There's
by
no
the way?
such thing. No, I have a boyfriend.
Okay. And what does he do? Is he in the
He's
film business?
he's like used to be an IT guy.
So he's a vegan.
Okay.
too,
Yeah,
evidently.
he's like the founder vegan of the relationship. No, he's.
What did he do when he quit
He's
IT?
like-
Yeah.
Dude,
And he's happier,
He's
isn't
just
he?
chilling, honestly. He's like, he does his I Ching. He reads the I Ching, which is Chinese philosophy in the mornings, and then he like does some carpentry in the afternoon. And
Is
his
he
dad
smoking a lot of weed?
Right. Well, and then his dad calls him in the evening and is like, "Why aren't you doing your PhD in math?" And then he's like, "Dad, I'm in New Orleans and I'm hanging out, and this is my life."
I guess he can fund your
Yeah, he's a millennial,
documentaries.
you know,
guy's
right?
got-
That
there's
would be the hope,
I
but that's
want
not.
his job.
That's not going to
Missing
be the. That's
paragraph
not.
here from the story.
Right. That's not. That, I think he's more on your path, which is, oh, I actually want to create. I don't want to just like sit at my computer or like.
And how long have you been dating this guy?
We've been dating for like 5 years. So.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's not dating.
I know. Well, we don't really believe in marriage. That's a whole other conversation.
Oh, so you're living together and you're like married, but you
Right.
can't actually get married.
Yeah. Well, it's not that we can't. It's just that we don't.
You won't.
Have no desire to.
Okay. But you are, for all intents and purposes, married.
No.
No.
Dude. No, it's an open relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone
we're
can,
happy
anyone
hour.
can still
This is
date.
happy hour business
Anybody
now.
could still date you then.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
I'm
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty interesting position to be in.
Right. Right.
So
I
you
know
have the-
an interesting chick right here.
Is that the best of both worlds or the worst of both
No,
worlds?
it's definitely the best.
The best.
It's definitely the
so
best.
you get to have a
yeah.
stable relationship
Yeah.
and have sex
get
with
to
other
be
guys.
open with to other people.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how does he feel about
we
that?
call it being open to each other rather than open to other people. Yeah.
So that's semantics, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Right.
philosophy
But
too.
basically, what you're
Right.
saying is you have a stable relationship and you'll have sex with other men.
Right, and it's not necessarily sex. It's just like
Not. Okay.
could be,
It
which
could
it absolutely it has been and maybe still is. But no, it's more just
Would
like
you fall in love with some other guy?
yeah,
Okay.
like,
So you're cool
It's
with,
definitely happening.
with staying in love and
yeah, staying in
fall-
love and then being in love with others.
someone else.
Yeah.
And how many people would you be able to be in love with at the same time?
Well, I'm also trying to be a world famous director, so you know, there's that.
Which world are we talking about?
We're talking about this one,
This-
and that's a good
the whole
question.
planet.
Right, right. That's a great question. This world. So
But not
there's
just the small world of
logistics
nuance.
and there's
You wanna be-
pragmatics. You know, I can't have 3 relationships. I can have 1 or 2, and then work on my
Now we're going to
films.
spend some time working on the movies.
Exactly.
How do you get to be world famous?
You
Is
just
there a plan
work
for that?
and make stuff that's really good, and get, you know, be like relaxed. I think it's not like you have to have ambition, but you can't. I'm also a business owner. I do production. We have a production company, a women-owned production company called Love You Back Productions.
Love you back.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it's a great
Actually,
name,
so
and you just have to be relaxed, and
what-
then I think
what's
that
your-
brings you far.
What's your boyfriend's first name, at least?
Nick.
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 So
yeah.
what does Nick feel when you come home and tell him that I'm banging some other guy?
Yeah. It's just like, yo, we call it circling. We call it circling.
You and Nick have come up
Yeah.
with this term,
Right.
circling.
We didn't actually. Okay, I will say we didn't come up with it, but we've definitely brought it,
Okay.
like, made it our own. It just means you have time to speak, I have time to speak, and that's it. It's like the basis of our relationship is communication. And I think that's the
Okay,
basis
so
of every
I'm Nick.
relationship.
Now, I
Right,
come home.
You're Nick.
I
Yeah.
come home and I say, "Hey,
Yeah.
time to do a bit of circling."
Right.
Which means that
Right.
I'm also
I'm like, all right,
banging
this
the
might
next door
be-
neighbor.
Yep. I'm like.
How's that go down with you? What do you
Right.
think?
I don't know if it's because I have a twin brother or like I have a bunch of siblings, but I'm not a jealous type. And moreover,
You're a good girlfriend.
I have
Right.
a new documentary idea. It's
Right.
circling. I
right.
want to do it.
Yeah, that's a
Circling
wonderful
the documentary,
idea.
that's-
Right.
Really now.
That's a great question. No, I mean, and just have a score over it, you know? Like just play the score.
Just you and
Circle
Nick
score.
talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let's have a look at the palms of your hands. Are they orange?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I eat a lot of carrots.
Is that from eating carrots?
Yeah. People can't really read my palms either.
Because they're too orange.
No, because
Let
they
me
have
have
too
a
many
look at them.
lines, which means I have a lot of relationships.
Oh, wow.
I can
How
read
many
your palms.
carrots are you eating a day?
Oh,
Or are you drinking it?
so many aspects of my life. I eat like 40, just kidding. Well, I could have let that sit, but...
How many carrots? I mean, seriously, how
No,
many
I
carrots do you
eat
have to
like
eat for
probably
your-
like 10
That's
whole
all.
carrots.
Only 10 carrots will make your hands
Not
turn
juicing
orange.
them.
Oh,
but
it's like
actually
10. Yeah, like
10
10.
carrots a day.
Yeah, I don't
Now,
juice, I just eat whole.
Why do your palms turn orange? Is it from holding them or from eating?
It's just from eating them.
So why isn't
yeah.
your face going to turn orange, like Trump or something?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's like my Italiano blood. I won't get
So
that.
it's-
I'm not like full blood white, but I'm pretty white. So I won't get that orange in my face.
You're saying Italian's not white?
Yeah, well, it's just
Italian,
like we have a
it's
little bit of
12% white.
we get
You
like
have an
we have a
olive
little bit of
complexion.
melanin, a little bit, so I don't get sunburns. That's all.
Hey, listen, two things
Maybe
we
I
have
don't
to do
get
here.
yellow. I
Mark,
don't get orange in the face. What's
Mark,
that?
Mark, I have to get you to play a little bit of music behind me for a minute, and then I'm going to ask you to play something else after that. I just have to read out this little page of information.
I want to hear more about what everybody has to think, everybody else's relationships.
Good idea. Hey, listen, our happy hour today is brought to us by Basics Swimming Gym, where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout and yoga clothes with style. You can get a bikini, a one-piece cover-up. In fact, you can get everything you need for the beach or poolside at Basics Swimming Gym, which is right next to Basics underneath, which is a lingerie store on Magazine Street. Thanks to the Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover, where you can go to the Hangover Destroyer website. It's called hdestroyer.com. If you write happy hour and the coupon code there, you'll get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer. So you too can seize the dawn. And thank you to Louisiana Legs, who make workout and yoga clothes with designs that incorporate photographic art like Mardi Gras beads, boiled crawfish, wrought iron in France, and caves in China. You can find Louisiana Legs on Facebook and on Instagram, and you can buy Louisiana Legs on Etsy. Thank you very much, Mark. That was a very interesting choice of illustrative noises, for want of a better term. What are you thinking of playing for us?
Well, after the last conversation...
How is everybody else's love life? Tell me about everybody else's love life. Let's go
Okay,
around.
well,
Let's go
I
around.
want to make Mark play a song, though, first.
I thought I should have tuned up for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
depressing,
yeah.
like
Oh, no,
a depressing,
Yeah.
or a celebratory love life tune.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm gonna do a song about how
Honest.
we're all fucked up over our phones.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fair.
Because I mean, let's face it. I mean, you know, how much time do you spend interacting with your loved one, and how much time do you spend interacting with
Very
your
good question.
digital device? You know, so
I like that.
What's it called?
it's called Digitize. Made a little video for this. The
Yeah.
message of the video is "Fuck you, Donald Trump. You're a piece of shit, and you're lying
Oh,
to
that's
us."
really mean.
Yeah, I know. It's kinda
I think that
rough.
we need to circle with Donald Trump. So
Ah.
You can, yeah.
That's a documentary.
I do not want to be in that circle. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
Circling
That's
with the
like
Donald. Right, or with him, you could just do the family circle. That's another story. They're getting digitized, living life on the screen. They don't realize the masses don't say what they mean. People staring in windows till they can't see the wide open sky. They let the power burn their brain while it rules their eyes. When you're digitized, living life on the screen, they don't realize the masses don't say what they mean. I know we all want something to believe when it seems so gray, but it's never black and white, no matter what game you play. When you're digitized, living life on the screen, they don't realize the masses don't say, well, the masses don't say what they mean. Don't wanna tell you how to feel, but I like my life real. One cold shot, it break through the screen, and now there's blood and glass coming down. You don't believe what you've seen, 'cause you can't put the device down. When you're digitized, living life on the they don't realize The masters don't say what they mean when you're digitized. Living life on the screen. They don't realize, baby. The masters don't say, well, the masters don't say. No, those bastards don't say what they mean.
Digitized. Look, the people in the restaurant are all clapping. That doesn't happen very often, to tell you the truth, around here.
Oh, awesome.
Hey,
Thanks.
so Mark, this is the legendary Marc Stone. If you just happen to be joining us on Facebook and wondering
Can I
who
put that
we're
on
talking
my
to,
website?
tell me something. When you sit there and play that, what are you thinking? Are you thinking?
Fuck, this guitar is out of tune. How can I mask that?
Were you thinking that?
That's cool.
Yes. Nah, you know, just try and convey the message of the song.
Are you lost in the song, or are you looking at us? Because I mean, we're so close to you here. It's not like you're on a stage at Tips, say, where you can't really see anybody and you're just like playing for yourself. What's it like sitting around this little table like this, looking right at people you're playing for?
It's, you know, actually like the scariest gigs are things like, you know, exactly, you know, where
The
people
most
are
intimate
really,
ones.
right, yeah, exactly. You know, I played some cafe in Paris that was tiny and like, you know, I'm sitting there and everyone's on
Yeah.
couches within about 4 feet of me, or, you know, a house concert up in Philly in the back of my friend's house where he had this beautiful little facility with a beautiful old Steinway upright that my partner at the time was playing. And there's people, there's like 30 art professors and
Yeah, for real.
philosophy professors
Yeah,
and
that's intense.
scientists and intellectuals all crammed in there. And the closest one was really like I could reach out and touch them.
Wow.
So yeah.
So do you get self-conscious, even at your level? Well, you've been doing this for a long time, and you know.
I mean,
how
I you know, I don't get stage fright per se, but I definitely, you know, try and, yeah, I mean, you try and lose yourself in the moment in the music, but you still have to have some consciousness of what you're doing and what's going on around you.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's the story on the guitar? Big boy.
This is yeah, it's a 1935-ish Regal Le Domino.
Hey,
as you can see
come
by
in
the
here a
logo.
little bit.
As you can see by, thank
It's
you
a
so much. Wow.
1935-ish.
Thank you. Yeah, terrible mic technique from someone who actually does this for a living, right? So yeah, it's a mid 30s. These were cheap guitars. They were cool with their little domino decals around the sound hole. So it's a Regal Big Boy Le Domino. It's a cool guitar. I got it cheap off Craigslist, and
That's cool.
a friend of mine did some work on it, and sounds good, plays good, has a cool sound for the slide. So
Yeah.
So how do you get work these days? Do people just know, everyone knows
I
who
was
you
going to
are?
ask you. What do you think I'm doing here?
Do you have like a booking agent or a manager and all this sort of stuff? Or how
No,
does
that would
work?
be me.
So you're the one-man operation?
Yeah, I mean, there are some agencies that I work with that help me get work in different realms, private events and things like that. Do a lot of booking myself and just, you know, trying to keep yourself out there and see, you know, and you basically, if you're an independent artist, you're kind of reapplying for your own job every day. So
Yeah.
you have to, you know, which is, I mean, I enjoy it. You know, I'm in the middle of booking a Northeast tour, and I've got a bunch of fun stuff coming up around town. And, you know, I mean, what's kind of nice about that is being able to create your own reality artistically, which is something that I've been having a lot of fun doing. This Sunday, I'll be over at Siberia. I've never played there before, but I've known Luke Allen for a million years and love the club. So I just called like all these awesome singers, songwriters, and musicians that I know to come have a fun acoustic night. We're going to have my friend and mentor, my favorite American, John Sinclair, there with us. If you're not familiar with the incredible legacy of John Sinclair, you should check him out. The poet laureate of American counterculture. And,
He certainly is. He was
yeah.
the... I mean, you also do a show on WWOZ, right?
For 18 years, yeah.
And John Sinclair was the voice of OZ. He was
Oh,
like
absolutely,
the franchise
yeah.
voice for years.
Oh, I mean,
And he moved to Amsterdam and took his weed with him.
Well, no, he didn't have to.
Took his whole weed act with him. And so he's back
That's
in
no
town.
act.
That's going to be a fantastic night.
He
You
went to
and John
jail for that
Sinclair.
shit. That's not an act.
He did. Yeah.
No, yeah, and he's around town doing a bunch
That
of
is
stuff. I mean,
great.
he's such an amazing person. You know, beyond just his history, his ability to translate cultural history into poetry, and you know his whole poetry and music and history concept is pretty amazing. So
That would be a good thing to take a camera to, by the way.
Right.
Jules.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you can arrange
But-
it.
But
Take your camera there.
In order to have the conversation be somewhat balanced, of course, skewed. How is your love life?
Oh God, here we go.
I know we have 4 minutes.
That's
but
a fair
in
question,
rapid-
all right, if you want to.
That's about as quick as my love life.
It's not radio. Whoa. Yeah.
Hey, it's not very ready.
Okay, that's right. We'll just say it's not radio ready.
Right? Yeah. Who
It's
says
kind of it's
It's
you know,
complicated.
it's I'm a guitar player.
His love life's well. It's going well.
Nice. That's cool.
I'm not a guitar player.
So, Chris,
Hell
you're,
yeah.
you're a single guy.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a single guy.
Okay. And are you in a relationship with anybody at all?
No,
Nothing.
right
So
now.
you're wide open.
That's why I have a lot of
Yeah,
money.
wide
start
open.
circling.
Wide
Money
open.
still.
Open to
That's
yourself.
important.
Wide open.
That's
yes.
important.
Yes. On
Yeah.
the camera, wide open. Yeah, so I'm available for gigs, for
Okay.
dates,
And
whatever.
dates.
For dates and gigs.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? So you're unhappy in your life and you want to change it.
My job is boring.
So what-
That's all it
Is
is.
it
And
boring?
getting back
Yeah.
to it, yeah. So it'd be nice to do something like this. This would be awesome. If I could do this once a week and get paid doing it, or walking around holding the phone and filming everyone doing
Like
it.
a-
But isn't there like this? So there's this ad
Interviewing
for
everybody.
Well,
I
that's
want
not a-
Grant's job.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
can totally
Well, you
have
want
it.
to create
Turn
something.
my mic off
You want
before
to
I
create
ask that.
something. But what like there's the guy in middle management who loves Coke Zero. Like he's a lowercase h hero. And I think that's important to acknowledge. But what you're saying as far as creating something, I totally dig that.
It's
Like,
not,
if you're not creating something, like if I wasn't creating something, I
Not
would
even just
totally.
creating something, but being happy at what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
my nephew, he just got accepted to the University of Maryland. God love him. I tell him this: do whatever you want, but just be happy doing what you're doing, and make sure whatever you're doing is not hurting other people, or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, but just be happy
But
doing
you
what
could,
you're doing.
you could
Even if
do
you're a
this
lifer.
job right now. You could have a podcast
I know,
today.
I know,
The
I
question
know.
is, how much do you want to get paid? If you don't want to get paid very much, you could start
I
off.
could care less about paying. I could really
Okay,
get
so what
careless
are you
about
waiting
getting
for?
paid.
Why don't you just do it? You could rent these microphones off us. We could put.
Actually, I own microphones.
Well,
I
we
have
can
everything.
start
I have
this.
everything
We can
already.
start this
Let's do it.
Tipitina as a documentary. Like I'm
I wanna
down.
do that.
You want to do this for
Production
real?
right here.
No.
Are you
I
serious?
mean,
You want to make a documentary about Tipitina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, then you got yourself a job out of the show.
All right, there we
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
Okay.
Then I'm-
you guys
I'll
started.
give you my
Lucid, I'm
card, let's
quitting.
start.
Sorry.
What kind of clients? We got like probably 1 or 2 minutes. But
We
what
have-
kind of
we have
clients
fewer
does
than
Lucid
that,
work
yeah.
with?
I'm sorry.
What kind of clients? Like, is it mid to large size companies? Is it obviously not? I would imagine not individuals like me trying to prove that filmmaking is a viable career to my father.
No, they have huge clients.
Yeah. And that's
it's-
around the country.
Yes,
sneak
all of-
you
they
in
have
on the
3
back of
offices. The
someone.
main office, the main office is here in New Orleans. They have one in India and one in the UK,
Yeah.
and also one in New York too.
Okay.
And they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And the main office is
It's
in,
here in New
Hell
Orleans,
yeah,
right on
that's
Canal.
dope.
Shops at Canal.
This is one of the most successful entrepreneurial startups that's
It
come
is,
out of New
absolutely.
Orleans, and not really many people seem to know about it.
No.
Shout out
They
to
secured
Entrepreneur Week
60
at the
million
end
in
of March.
funding back in April, and
How much?
60 million. In
$60
funding.
million.
$60 million
With investment. Isn't that funny?
With
In business,
investment.
that's taken as a big deal, as a success.
It's huge.
Whereas
for
in
what
most
the-
people's
They're also
life,
big-
that would be
they're
taken
also-
as a bad development if you had to borrow $60 million to stay alive. But in business, for some reason, that's just regarded as a huge success if someone gives you $60 million.
Yeah, I'm impressed with them. I'm impressed. It's just
Isn't that the city? I'm
But you're-
sorry, I didn't hear. What was that? Who got 60 million?
the company. The
Yeah,
company that's
Lucid.
here.
Yeah, it's an
Lucid
investment.
here. To investment to keep on going
That's
and to
good.
expand.
Yeah. Here,
So
yeah.
they're getting bigger and bigger
That's
and bigger.
great.
They're doing well.
And are you sort of a part
really
of
amazing.
stockholder or something?
No, I'm just a contractor. Like I said, my job's
You're gonna
probably
get-
going to be done in like a month, so I need to like
really?
go on with something else.
So you need to get this Tipitina
Tipitina.
thing
Yes,
cranked up.
yes,
Yeah.
You,
yes.
you can be shooting
Absolutely.
that over Jazz Fest.
Right.
And Mark
wait
can
for
help
Jazz
out because
Fest.
he's not doing
Yes.
anything.
Yeah, we
Jack-
already got.
the
You can
lineup-
already sign off on
Oh,
the media
that's right.
release. You know. Yeah, I got them in my purse. Media release always.
Oh, I bet you. Yeah.
Do you
Good
do?
thing
You
to
have that? You have that down there?
NO
do.
Jazz
I
Fest
probably
grids.
do.
You can find out probably where he's playing in between shows and stuff.
I can't believe they didn't book you at Jazz Fest. We have to find out more about that.
No,
Perhaps in a minute.
You know who to talk to.
We'll give them a call and see what they say. That's
That's
really.
it.
Oh, by the way,
everybody complains about that.
I don't, you know.
Right.
I will
Yeah.
be playing French Quarter Fest.
nice.
Got lots of other cool stuff going on. I mean, I
Crawfish
love
Fest?
Jazz
You
Fest,
could
but
do
I'm not going to stress
Breakfast.
about it. What?
We could get you into Breakfast as well.
Oh, I saw
Breakfast,
about
the
that
most
today.
important meal of the year.
That's right. That's right. A Sunday morning of Jazz Fest.
We can totally
Yeah,
hook
that
you
sounds
up.
like a lot of fun.
That's produced by our very own Andrew Duhon, who will be back here next week.
Oh, I
So
didn't
we
know
can
Andrew
totally
was part
get
of
you-
this.
It's his
wow.
whole thing. We can totally get you into Breakfast.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Well, okay.
How
Well,
cool would that
talk
be?
to the man.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And a quick plug.
Yes.
I love to put on shows with different musicians I love and admire, and one of my favorite musicians in the whole wide world is going to come to New Orleans and really kind of re-kick off her music career after over a decade of very limited activity. Her name's Alana Davis. She's an outstanding vocalist and singer-songwriter, had some great stuff in the late 90s, had hits on the radio and all that. Old friend of mine from New York. And her father played with Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie and Art Blakey and all those kind of folks. So March 31st, come by the Little Gem and see something completely different than anything you've ever seen in New
Wow,
Orleans.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the tip-off. March 31st, 2018, at the Little
That's the
Gem
one.
Saloon. Okay. If you listen to this after March 31st, 2018, we can find more about you, Mark, at Marc Stone Music or Marc Stone Noah.
MarcStonemusic.com.
MarcStonemusic.com.
Mark with a C.
Okay, and we can find out more about the Tipitina's documentary at tipitinasdocumentary.com.
I don't have a website.
You better
or anything.
get it together between now and the time
Yeah,
this
we'll help you get
podcast
it
comes
together.
out in
We'll
5
help you.
minutes.
Get a
Over
Kickstarter
here.
going or something like
Yeah,
that. There we go.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm all about that.
And
I
if
thought you
y'all
didn't need
and
the
where do
money.
we find you?
Yeah, if y'all
Sure.
are interested in anything regarding Corner Stores and documentary, the two of them together, go to Facebook and just type in Corner Stores Doc, like Corner Stores DOC,
Right.
and that's it.
I think we know how to spell
And
doc.
then you can also check out LoveYouBackProductions.com because we update that stuff. We have like a blog, so
All
you
right.
can hear more. And that's pretty easy to remember. Love You Back Productions.
Love You Back Productions. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Julie Elizabeth Evans, otherwise known as Jules.
you. Yeah,
Chris
Jules.
Succi, otherwise known as Such, and Marc Stone, otherwise known as Marc Stone.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
That was fun.
That's been
having us,
Happy
man.
Hour for another week. Don't forget that we're
Thank
also
you.
on
Thank you for
Patreon
having
if
us.
you'd like to help us out. You can support Happy Hour for as little as $1 a month. That's the grand total of $12 a year. Go to patreon.com and look for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our associate producers are Alison Moon and April Stoff. Christian Owner as our music director and Jean Valois as our music producer. Thomas Walsh is our technical director. Asher Griffith is normally our live Facebook director, but he's off doing something else today, and April's taken over for him. Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector, and our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about an hour while drinking cocktails, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com, where you can also check out many other hours of Happy Hour that we've recorded previously, as well as some other shows we make here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast, Death the Podcast, named one of the top 40 podcasts in America in 2017. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. If you like to find photos of the show, I can't see anything out of these fucking glasses, by the way. Can you see what's going on there? You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Alison Moon. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thanks for subscribing to us. Take a moment if you'd like to rate and review us. That does help other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hour's a production of I Know Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. If you're looking for Andrew Duhon, you can find him at andrewduhon.com and see if he's in a city near you. He'll be back here next week at Wayfare along with the rest of us. Thank you to everybody around the table here from this week's show. Back at our office at I Know Broadcasting as well. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I will see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
Let's be honest, there are tons of ways to send money back home, and every company promises me the same things: good rates and safe transfers. That's why it can be overwhelming to choose a new way to send money. I switched to Remitly because I can track my money every step of the way, which means I know exactly when my mom will get her money. And with their extensive payment network, my mom can receive her money in a way that is more convenient and safe for her. You should check it out. Go to Remitly.com or download their app to get started. Remitly Inc. is a licensed money transmitter by the state of New York, California, Massachusetts, and other states.